Let's talk about new employee orientation, new employee onboarding, and why your company should do both with every new employee. I was reading a post from a LinkedIn group that I follow that discussed the topic of new employee orientation and new employee onboarding. I left a comment that it is my belief that many companies don't understand the differences between the two. And further, I believe that developing a solid new employee onboarding and new employee orientation process may help the new employee merge seamlessly into the company and its culture while increasing the chance of longer employee tenure. But let's talk about the differences between the two. A new employee orientation offers a welcome or an introduction to the new workplace. Here's where you talk about basic information such as breaks, payroll, employee handbooks, immediate supervisor, benefits, the company's mission statement, generalized job duties, on and on and on. Among other reasons, a new employee orientation is supposed to help the employee ease into their new job, address any safety issues with the position, along with reviewing those important employment policies. The new employee orientation allows the HR department to do their job, to review all of those documents, to make sure all the documents have the proper signatures, to make sure all the documents are present, and ensure that the company is complying with federal and state laws as it relates to hiring new employees. Keep in mind that a new employee orientation is different from company to company to company. And this means that your company can deploy any type of software or any other means necessary to ensure that nothing is left out. I have a good friend named Courtney, and Courtney made this incredibly awesome PowerPoint template that is to guide her through the new employee orientation process to make sure she doesn't forget anything. I think it's a really great idea. When you think about an employee orientation, think about the employee getting their feet wet as it relates to your business. When you think of employee onboarding, think about that employee jumping headfirst into the deep end of the pool as it relates to your company. New employee onboarding should equate to total immersion as it relates to your company and its culture. Depending on the company, it could last as long as you think it should last. I've read some places where employee onboarding can last up to 12 months. Let me talk about my experience as it relates to new employee onboarding. I was the operations manager at this really great company, and we had a 5-day new employee onboarding process. And that culminated into a one-on-one lunch with either myself as the operations manager or one of the owners of the company. During the lunch, I would ask specific questions to that new employee as it related to our process. I'd want some feedback. Did we do too much? Did we not do enough? What was covered? What was not covered? And what they would like to see in a future new employee onboarding process. And we would use this feedback for our next new employee onboarding. Here's my advice for any company who would like to incorporate new employee orientation and new employee onboarding. When you create a new employee onboarding or a new employee orientation process, you have to create it specifically for that employee, for that particular job function. Incorporate that new employee's work environment and take into account what you know about that new employee's personality. Ensure that that new employee is comfortable with their colleagues and make sure they have someone that they can go to for immediate help and questions. Create a new employee onboarding team. And these members may fluctuate depending on the department in which the new employee is being assigned to. Some of the responsibilities of the new employee onboarding team could include tasks such as cleaning out the new employee's desk, making sure there's no remnants of the old employee. If employees have telephones at their desk, make sure the new employee's name appears on the telephone. Decide who is going to teach the new employee what, and when are you going to hand off that new employee to the next person. If there's lunches scheduled, who's going to take that new employee to lunch to welcome them to the company? Little things like making sure their email address is active and working goes a long way, and it lets that new employee know that your company put forth effort to make them feel welcomed. Part of your company's new employee onboarding process could be that that new employee shadows a seasoned employee, especially one that performs similar duties as what the new employee will be doing. Allow all the employees involved to go out to lunch and have a group lunch and get to socialize with each other. This can allow for those informal conversations that can build personal bonds. There is no one-size-fits-all when it comes to new employee onboarding. New employee onboarding may involve all current employees at your company, especially if it's a small business. With that being said, every new employee, from the new senior vice president on up to the custodial engineers, should go through some form of new employee orientation process and new employee onboarding process. Does your company provide any new employee hiring processes or new employee onboarding processes, or both? Let me know in the comment section below. Thanks for watching. If you want to know more about business operations, business management, human resources, and other topics related to running a business, click on one of those play links. Click on one of these Click on the playlist.
One eternity later.
Click on one of these playlists. Thanks for watching. And don't forget to subscribe.